Hi everyone. Today, we are going to explore the Relocation Costs and Preventive or Defensive Expenditures Method, a practical way to put a price on what we lose when the environment breaks down. This method is all about measuring what people actually spend to deal with environmental threats. There are two parts: preventive or defensive expenditures, like installing flood barriers or buying water filters, and relocation costs, the total of moving away from disaster prone areas, including housing, transport, property loss, and emotional impacts. Instead of asking people what they value, this method looks at what they actually do. It's called a revealed preference approach.
So why is this method important? Because it turns environmental loss into economic evidence. If communities are spending big money to protect themselves or relocate, that shows how valuable those natural protections, like clean rivers or forested slopes, used to be. It's also useful for policymakers to understand the cost of doing nothing. Planners for a smart city and climate resilient design, and also for environmental justice, is to highlight how the poor often pay the highest price.
Now, let's talk about the strengths of this method and why is it so useful. First, it's based on real behavior and not guesses. If someone buys a water filter because their river is polluted, that's a clear, measurable response. Second, the data is relatively easy to find. You can get it from household expenses, public records, or local budgets, unlike complex surveys. Third, it's great for cost-benefit analysis. You can directly compare what people are spending versus what it would cost to conserve or restore the environment. And lastly, it captures how people perceive risk. If communities are investing in protection, it shows they see the danger, which tells us something about the value of that lost ecosystem services.
But it's not a perfect method. There are some clear weaknesses. First, is the missing non-market or integrable value. Things like culture, heritage, biodiversity, or spiritual side. They are left out if not one paying to protect them. Second, is the bias toward people who can afford to act. If someone can afford to regulate it or build barriers, their risk is captured, even if they're suffering the most. Third, it often understands time, long-term cost. A quick fix like a small flood wall might work now, but it does count future damage or mental health impact from repeated disaster. And the last, not all the actions are voluntary. Some people are forced to relocate, so the spending may reflect survival, not actual willingness to pay, which can is used in the pure economic valuation.
Let's dive into 5 international cases that show this method in action. 1. The Netherlands. The Dutch government spent over 17 billion euro on the Delta Works flood defense system. That spending is used to estimate the lost value of coastal wetlands that is used to protect them naturally. 2. New Orleans. After Hurricane Katrina, the US spent over $100 billion rebuilding and relocating. That massive cost reflects the value of natural storm buffers like wetlands, which had been destroyed. 3. Delhi, India. Due to air pollution, households began buying air purifiers and masks. Defensive spending, average 800 rupees per household, is used to value clean air. 4. Jakarta, Indonesia. Jakarta is sinking. The government is relocating the capital to East Kalimantan, a project costing over $33 billion. and that price tag shows the risk of ignoring environmental planning. And lastly, China. Severe water pollution forced households to buy filters and bottled water, costing over 1,200 yen annually. That's the value of clean water now lost.
Now, let's bring it closer to home. 5 Malaysian examples. 1. Kelantan. Flood-prone villages spent on concrete, slate, and boats. These costs were used to estimate the value of upstream forests and wetlands for flood control. Number 2. Langkawi. Tourism operators spent on erosion control, like rock armoring and sandbags, because mangrove were lost. That's defensive spending replacing a lost natural barrier. 3. Cameron Highlands. Farmers relocated crops and built retaining walls due to the landslides. These actions reflect the hidden cost of deforestation. Number 4. Kuala Lumpur. Water pollution led households to buy filters and bottled water, reflecting the value of clean urban water supply. And lastly, number 5. Penampang, Sabah. Village were relocated due to landslides. The cost of land, housing, and displacement was used to value forests that once provided slope stability.
So here's the takeaway. People are already paying for environmental damage, whether by choice or by force. Every barrier built, every relocation, every purifier installed is money spent because nature no longer protects us the way it used to. By calculating this cost, we turn invisible ecosystem service into visible economic value. This helps us prove protecting the environment is not just ethical, but it's also economically smart.
We hope you've learned something valuable from this video. Environmental damage has a real cost, and we're already paying it. Be aware, take action, because protecting nature means protecting ourselves.